Hi, my name is Nicole Andra, and I am giving the showcase report for my project. I'm happy to share it with you today. I'm going to take these off, get that glaring off my face. My project was a webinar series for training for referral relations or outreach. And I'm going to share with you the artifacts that I have from that. Give me a minute. I try and do what I do every time, but forget how I do it, basically. Okay. So I made these slideshows to be able to give my presentation. There are three different ones, three different topics. The first topic was new business, getting your foot in the door. How do I start, basically? And this is the first slide, obviously, if I can get it open to the present page. Okay, here we go. Gave them a little introduction of myself, my family, my background, my experience. The outline of what we would be going through in this training. Just a brief overview of this. Where do I start? I talked about how you just pick up the phone and call. You need to feel confident. You need to say who you are. If you ask if you caught them at a bad time, and tell them, how you know about them. Again, I already covered the time. You just want to be respectful of their time and don't start off on the wrong foot. We all know those phone calls where someone calls us and they just start talking and we were just trying to get out the door, but we don't have a minute to tell them that and don't want to be rude. And the third one is how was it that you came to know about them? It's always nice to know where your marketing efforts are going. And it's also an ego booster for the people that are in business. The approach that you want to take, let them know why you're reaching out and don't have it be about you. So make it about them. I'd like to get to know your business more, see if you work with the same clientele that we do and how I can refer to you. Ask questions, open-ended questions. When, how, why, where, and build a relationship with them. Right now, it's just about building a relationship. It's not about selling your product. And then follow up with them afterwards. Make it personal, maybe over something that you've talked about. Send them a note. Maybe stalk them on social media, I'm not going to lie, and send them a personal follow-up note on something maybe that you noticed that they were doing on social media. What you don't want to do is to make it about yourself. Tell them what you do, all the experience you have. You don't need to sell yourself right now. You want to get to know their business and make that clear. You also don't want to spend time information dumping. I kind of make it like a date. Say you go out on a date and someone does all the talking about themselves. Well, you'd like to talk a little bit more about yourself as well, right? And so if they want to know, they'll ask. So just work on building that relationship. And a part of the date thing, the being pushy part, you don't want to push too much. You know, that date that you went out with to be nice, and then they follow up and they keep calling, wanting to go out and texting you, and the pushy pushes you away enough. So watch that you're not too pushy. And then I summarized what we talked about with identify and call, ask, do not dump, and follow up. That was the first training. The second one is, now that you have working on getting that new business, that new relationship, we are going to talk about how we build that business. So you've introduced yourself, you're trying to make a relationship, basically, and how do we do that? Again, I use the same outline, introduction of myself, outline of what we will be going through right here, and jump into the first one, research. Knowledge is power. The more information we have on something, the more powerful we can be with what we have. You having done research on them is giving you power. It shows interest. So let's say, what if I showed up on your doorstep tomorrow with your favorite gallon of ice cream? That shows a lot that I was interested enough in you to put an effort to find out your favorite ice cream and bring it to you. So there's an example of that. A great place to research is on social media. You can find special dates there, history of what they've been doing, activities, anniversaries, things like that. You can also have an idea of what their interests are. And then you can do research on their cohorts. This again builds up their ego, and it also builds up your credentials. Oh, you know these people, you work with these people, things like that. Next, after research is get to know. So you've reached in to make that relationship or to, get your foot in the door to new business. And now you want to get to know them. It's actually, as you'll see at the bottom, I cited a article that talks about we are naturally attracted to other people with whom we have similarities with. So look for similarities that you have with this person and build on that. Maybe you're both wearing a Utah Jazz hat. I doubt it, but maybe, maybe, you both pass on the salt. Whatever it is, look for similarities and build on that. Ask open-ended questions. You want to gather more information on them, how and why. And then again, something else I pulled from an MTC, doesn't stand for our type of MTC, type of communication style, and that is Ford. Ask questions based on family, occupancy, recreation, and dreams. Great door opener. Something else that it has been physiologically proven is that when you're doing an activity with someone, it has the brain firing neurons and making a connection. So schedule to do an activity with this person, a meaningful activity, one that you can connect on, one that you're able to let them see your personality, and one that builds memories. When you go on a marketing visit with them, try not to make it just an office visit. Maybe there's a Major League Baseball game going on in town. Maybe their favorite play is showing that night. Do your research, set an activity, and be willing to do it, whether it's something you enjoy or not. And then when you go to conferences, think outside of the box. Anyone can take any referral partners to lunch at a conference. My question is, can you take them paddleboarding? That's actually what I did at one conference. During the lunch break, there was a little bay outside of the hotel where the conference was. And I knew of a referring partner that liked to paddleboard. So I asked if they'd be interested in doing that. And that's what we did. And it was amazing. And I can't say that she has that experience with, any other company. Again, treat it like a date and make sure that activity is something that's interactive. And again, I just summarized what we went over at the end of this training. And then the last training was, after you have got your foot in the door, you're building a relationship, is how to stay connected. There's someone that you may always feel close to, but you don't stay in contact with, so you don't communicate a lot, but you want to be sure and keep that relationship going to keep those referrals coming in, that you're at the forefront of their mind. Again, it's more about you, not their business is at the forefront of their mind, because businesses will tend to mesh together because they're all kind of similar, but the personalities of the people there will not. All right, so introduction, outline. Okay. So to stay connected, you need to have been attentive and continue to be attentive when you interact with them. You need to disconnect from any distractions, hold your tongue, which means don't interrupt while they're talking. In fact, let them do most, if not all, the talking. If they are, then you're doing something right. And absorb everything that they are telling you, because you can use that information later. Be sincere in your interactions with them. You want it to have meaning. For instance, one client that I found out she had skin cancer on her hand. And, I could send her flowers because she went through a surgery and was very upset about it. But instead, I researched and found a lotion that had sunscreen in it, as well as scar healing ointments. Sent that to her with a little bit of chocolate, because that never hurts. And it was hugely different than what she received from everyone else. Timing. You want to make sure you reach out timing wise with something that has purpose, or just spur the moment. Hey, I'm thinking of you. I was eating this, popcorn tonight, and you popped into my mind, no pun intended, because I know it was one of your favorites, and I thought I'd send you a package, that type of thing. And then always follow up. Make it personal, send a note, media stock. Lastly is you want to act on what you've absorbed and what you've been attentive to. You can do this through gifts, calls, or notes. But you have to do the 3 things beforehand, which are be attentive, or the 2 things, and sincere before you act. And then I summarized this at the very end. And those were my 3 presentations. One other thing I want to show you here, if I can move this, would be some artifacts. These are the topic the list of topics that I considered, narrowed it down to 3 based on speaking with other professionals and what they would be interested in learning about and strengthening themselves in, and references right here of websites that I used information from. I had a really great time doing this. And it was successful enough as well that my boss is hoping that I will do training in-house for our company. And I'll let you know how that goes. Thanks so much.